Hello there, this is Phumlani Majozi. It's great to be back. This is the Phumlani Majozi show where we give you a conservative, a black conservative perspective on local and global social economic affairs. Gabriel McKean is off today, so I will be sailing alone as well. Two matters I want to discuss today. The first one is around Santam. Santam has decided, this is the insurance company, South Africa's insurance company, they have decided to set their minimum wage at 15,000 rands a month. Yes, you heard me right. They are setting their own minimum wage at 15,000 rands a month. This is way above the national or the government mandated national minimum wage of about 4,500 rands, 4.3, 4.4, somewhere there. So that is the government's mandated national minimum wage. And Santam is paying way above that. They've joined Old Mutual as well. Another company has decided to also last year, they decided to, set their minimum wage at 15,000 rands a month. Now, folks, that is positive, right? That is positive that these two private companies have decided to say, you know what, we are going to pay our employees at a minimum or a minimum, monthly salary of 15,000 rands. That is a positive. That is good. These are private companies. They have decided to take such an initiative, and we must commend them because we do love people's wages going up, right? Something like that, that's done by private companies by choice, that they have decided to set their minimum wage at that level of 15,000 rands. That is positive. Now, it would have been negative if it was government mandated or mandated by the government at any level, whether it's a national level or sectoral. It must not, minimum wages must not be set by the government, right? Hence, I am opposed for a long time. I have been opposed to the national minimum wage. I think it's negative, given especially the challenges that we face of very shocking unemployment rates that I spoke about recently. If you have been following my video content, we have a serious problem in this country, and the biggest crisis that we face is the one of unemployment. The joblessness that is facing us. It's at a level, that can't be found in many countries around the world. In fact, we have the highest unemployment rate in the world. Now, so for government to come and mandate such things as national minimum wages or minimum wage laws, that is counterproductive. But you know what? If private companies say that we are going to pay our employees a minimum of X amount, that's fine. It's a private company. It's decided to do that. That is positive for them. Well, for at least for their employees, it's their business decision. It's their business decisions. They have made those decisions. So it's positive, folks. I commend what these companies have done, Old Mutual and Santam, that they have set their minimum wages at 15,000 rands a month. Positive news. We can't say no to that. Good stuff. These are private business decisions. I would have been opposed to it if it was set by the government, or the government came out and said, Santam, you must pay at least 15,000 rands to your employees a month. I would have been opposed to that, just as I am opposed to the national minimum wage or even sectoral minimum wages that have been set by the government. The government must minimize its role in labor markets, especially when you have a very high unemployment rate in the country. And the main goal is to get as many people as possible, especially young people, into jobs. So, thumbs up to these private companies that have decided through their business decisions to increase or, pay minimum wage or a minimum wage of 15,000 rands a month. That should be celebrated. Now, the second issue I want to talk about is Naledi Pandor. Naledi Pandor, our foreign affairs minister. She's overseas this week on a working visit. She's in the USA, in Jamaica as well. And, this week, guess what she says? Well, she's saying, well, Israel doesn't comply with or has refused or is not complying with the ICJ, International Court of Justice order that was issued early this year. Israel is not complying with that as it continues with the acts of genocide in its war against Hamas in Gaza. Cyril Ramaphosa, our president, said the same thing a few weeks back. He was saying Israel isn't complying with the orders of the ICJ. And then I have only one question. They have been saying Israel isn't complying with the ICJ court orders or ICJ orders. They haven't been speaking about Hamas because the ICJ said that the hostages that were taken on October 7th, they must be released unconditionally, right? How are they? Why is Cyril Ramaphosa and his Minister of Foreign Affairs, Naledi Pandor, not saying, Hamas is also not complying with what was, said or ordered by the ICJ? Because Hamas hasn't released all the hostages. They have not done so. Now, Ramaphosa and his minister don't talk about that. Don't talk about the fact that Hamas hasn't complied with the orders or what they were told by the ICJ. Why are they not talking about that? You see, that is what I am asking. Why is our minister and our minister, foreign affairs minister, and Cyril Ramaphosa not talking about that? About the fact that Hamas must or is not complying with what was with the orders or the instructions of the ICJ. They obviously haven't done it. They have not released all hostages. They've never done that. So then why is Ramaphosa and Naledi Pandor not talking about that? Why only talk about Israel and say that Israel is not complying with the ICJ orders? Sometimes you can see something that is totally, biased, or something that favors a certain side. And I think to me, it shows that these are people who are clueless on how we should be conducting our affairs or foreign policy. They are just doing things that totally confusing, totally confused, totally clueless, and they have been unashamed in their foreign policy conduct, their support for people who slaughter or who slaughtered innocent innocent people of Israel last October. It's a shame that that is happening. So those are the two things I wanted to raise with you this week. Remember, I am on X, and my handle is @Phumlani M Majozi. I also do have a website. That's where you are going to find me, phumlanimajozi.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, Phumlani M Majozi. I'm also on Facebook @Phumlani M Majozi. So that's where you are going to find me. I'm also on Instagram as well, @Phumlani M Majozi. That's where you're going to find me. So big week for me. Just to let you know, I'm in Kenya. So I'll be in Kenya, Nairobi from tomorrow up until next week, early next week. I look forward to meeting people there and of course promoting my book, Lessons from Past Heroes. We will chat next time.